Hello and welcome to Advertisers Watching Ads. My name is Tom Ollerton and this is a weekly show where brands watch other brands' ads and have a good old chat about what is good and bad about them. As usual, we're brought to you by the Conscious Advertising Network, so please go and check out those guys after the show. So let's meet this week's guests.
Hi, my name is Angie Gola-Ebue. I'm founder of commercial consultancy Intermediary.
Hi, I'm Jasper Martens and I am the Chief Marketing Officer at PensionBee.
Hi, my name is Gonzalo. I am based in Singapore. I lead the growth for MullenLowe Group in Asia Pacific and I am the founder of Food for Real.
Hi guys, welcome. Thanks so much for joining the show. So today we are going to watch an ad that was released on the 18th of September by the Scottish Government and it's become one of the most searched for ads online in the last week.
Hey, Grandad.
Hello there. I'll be back in a minute.
You go.
Lovely cup of tea.
So that video has enraged Twitter and delivered the Scottish Government around 1,000 retweets. It also ran as an ad on Facebook and Instagram. Interestingly, they spent less than 100 quid on promoting it and only about 1,000 people saw it. But the Scottish Government said the importance of the message required a bold approach and was professionally and independently tested to be effective through development. But it also appears that they've taken this down from their YouTube channel. So I'm not sure what's happening there. Angie, what did you think when you first saw that ad?
For me, I wanted to love it, but I kind of felt, I loved that it was going for shock value and driving conversation, but maybe it was just slightly missing the mark. So yeah, I kind of saw what they were trying to put forward, but it just didn't really sit right with me. So yeah. It was okay, but I didn't love it.
Gonzalo, what was your reaction to this ad?
I liked it. I think it's brutally simple and I think it's a message that needs brutal simplicity. So we never saw the virus before and it's the first time someone shows the virus, probably in a non-accurate way, but it's I think it works because it's simple.
How about you, Jasper?
I absolutely love it. If there's anything that conveys like the simplicity of this message, it's super clear. I think it's aimed at a younger audience that just don't, there's been not just with the younger audience, but there's been quite of this kind of like thing about the virus doesn't get me. It will be fine. So let's meet up. Actually, this is what happens if you've got the virus when you meet up and you're hurting your loved ones. But generally, I'm like, gosh, Boris, have a look at this. This is how you need to explain the rules because this is how it should be done.
So Angie, Jasper's a big thumbs up for this ad, but you're very much a thumbs down. Why? What is it about the ad that really didn't land for you?
I guess I just wanted to see a little bit more of the different social situations that are a problem that create this. So there was a little snapshot of, you know, her checking her phone and obviously not social distancing and hanging out with friends. I have younger brothers and I think they would probably look at this and think, well, I don't really see what the problem is. So I think maybe it could have, they could have sort of illustrated a few sort of the problems and issues that create this. I know it's spreading the virus, but I think they could have been a little bit more around that.
To me, it's a bit, in its simplicity, it's a bit of an oversimplification, right? It's true that it's not very informative. It doesn't show situations. It doesn't tell you actually how it spreads chances. It's not informative. It's just scary. But I do not think that the public audience is ready to understand the complexity of how a virus really works. So to me, it's a license they need to take to make the message more effective because if they really say, actually, just 20% of the people transmit the virus, messages are confusing around the virus. Wear a mask, do not wear a mask. You can, even the scientific community hasn't agreed. So to me, it's an oversimplification, but I do think it was needed.
Jasper, do you think this ad could have been improved on? You're a big fan of it, but what would, if this had landed on your desk for sign off or feedback, what would have gone in the email back to the creative agency?
I really like the simplicity. However, There's two things. So first of all, Angie, I do agree. Like I would definitely want to see more settings, not just this one. Like if you go to Starbucks and have a coffee with your friends, like how would that work? And how would the virus spread that way? Like I do feel it's a very horror scenario. There's horror music behind it. Like you could also turn it into a positive. This is what you can do to, you know, prevent. So maybe a positive note at the end, like if you would have done this, then you could have had a cup of tea with your grandpa and it would be all fine. So I think that's something I would improve on. I think it's very grim.
Angie, do you think dropping this video in social was the right call? From a media perspective, do you think they played it the right way?
You know what? I think dropping it into social and creating a conversation is exactly what they wanted to do with this. Like when they were creating this, they wanted people to stop and pay attention. I think that it feels like people are getting fatigued with, you know, keeping to the rules. So I think putting it on social creates a conversation around, you know, this is important. However, I kind of feel if you're, you know, 18 and you're not abiding by the rules anyway, this is not really going to change your mind. And maybe you can't see yourself reflected in that one scenario. You know, things like that. You want a serious ad to land and make people think of all ages. And I'm not sure if that did that for everybody. And that's why obviously it's been sort of discussed so openly and so much.
Gonzalo, you're now the CMO of the Scottish Government. What would you be doing with that ad to make sure it landed and gone further?
I will just probably create different content out of it, like things you didn't know about the virus that is a bit more informative. Like actually when you touch a handle in a public place, the virus can stay there 24 hours. So I will use it as an umbrella and then launch different communications underneath that are a bit more accurate.
We're running out of time now, so let's give the brands and agencies watching this show something to take away. Angie, based on the ad and based on this conversation, what should marketers be taking away from this?
I think the main thing for me is that if you want to create a serious piece of content, make sure that it's not going to turn into a meme. It's not going to be something that people sort of, you know, don't take seriously and share with friends in a light-hearted way. So maybe there could be more focus groups and insights around this would be my sort of thought.
And Jasper?
Do focus on simplicity of what you're trying to communicate, but also in classic marketing terms, there is a problem and you have a solution. So I would say, why don't you also focus on the solution? In this case, how to prevent something from happening would have been really nice rather than this Armageddon scenario.
And Gonzalo, to wrap up the show.
Yeah, I'll say it's very important to what is your comms objective, right? If the comms objective of this ad was make people think more about the impact of their everyday actions and talk about the virus and how it spreads, then it's successful. Always have a comms objective, and it's something we keep seeing in many client briefs that there is no clear comms objective. What are you trying to achieve in the minds of consumers? So if in this case it's about getting people to talk and getting people to think more, I think it's successful. So have a clear comms objective. And the second, sometimes simplicity, it's the best way, better than being too smart about it and trying to be too complicated. So simplicity sometimes wins.
Unfortunately, that's all we've got time for. Angie, Jasper, Gonzalo, thanks so much.